Hello there, this is Eddie here, and here with I've got Alexander and
Hello.
Luke, and today we are going to be talking about one of many things that's been going to go on Elapse, which stands for Eddy, Luke, Alex Produce Shite Episodes, which you
Which
find
is
probably will.
yeah.
So today we are going to be talking about an album that is probably one of my favourites overall. This is the third album by a guy called Captain Beefheart, Trout Replica. Now, I've already reviewed this on my channel, but honestly, I really wanted to do a track by track kind of thing and just talk more in depth because honestly, even though I still gave it an 8.7 out of 10, I really would have liked to give it a higher score now. But anyways, there's not much really to talk about straight away for the introduction. Obviously, they couldn't find anyone to try and work as a label on, so and eventually, they went to Frank Zappa, who was actually a long life mate with Captain Beefheart, and he had his own label called Bazaar, and he worked on there, which gives him as much creative freedom as possible. So what we have here is 28 songs, all nice and short, so it keeps it nice and fresh. So, and just lots of things can happen with it. Too many guitars and quite a big drums that just make it sound just very dodgy at first, and probably about 5 or 10 lessons later, you still might not just get it, but eventually I'm sure you'll find it'll click, and it certainly has for me. So here we are, I'm just going to quickly get on with it.
So
First,
we say a few of our opinions of anything.
yeah, go on quickly.
Well, Luke and I know next to nothing about this album. I know slightly more than Luke. I've listened to a few songs, but really, I only know about a quarter of them, and some of those are only by title. But when you get to each of the titles, I'll just say my opinion.
Okay. Right. Okay, so first track is Farmland. It just kicks off really what you're going to be expecting, which is some very avant-garde kind of guitars and just loads of weird stuff. But surely at the first listen, you should understand the great Howlin' Wolf style vocals by Captain Beefheart, and it's just really out there kind of lyrics. Just loads of great quotes of it. Obviously, the first ever lyrics, my stuff. I kind of go back to your Frownland. Um, uh, Let the devil burn in a bag of learn where little girls living in their home worlds. Take my kind hand. Just it's got a guitar. There's so many different guitars that you can pick out in about 1.5 minutes that it lasts. That's just so enjoyable. Like just little bits and bobs here and there that are just really quite catchy once you
Mm-hmm.
get your head around it. And that's basically about it. I give it about 9.7 out of 10.
Yeah.
The Dust Blows Forward and the Dust Blows Back is one of, I believe, three just simple spoken words, and I'll talk about the second and third later on when we get to them.
Is the
It's,
second one well?
yeah,
Okay,
so
I can talk about that too.
people will probably be thinking, well, this is bad since there's no instrumentation going on at all. It's just his vocals. Obviously, this would be a right treat if you're a big fan of his vocals, which I certainly am. And they purposely put this sort of soft reverb in that just makes it sound like a 30s or 40s kind of thing. And it really suits it. And the vocals sort of remind you of kind of old country kind of thing of someone, laying in a field or something like that. It's definitely got lyrics like that, just sort of relaxed in his sort of style. Now the blackbirds are feeding on rice and the red wings look like diamonds and lice, just really weird kind of stuff. But I think it's got some of it's got quite funny, like what's it? Well, I put down my bush and I took off my pants and felt free, and the
Mm-hmm.
breeze blown up me. And it's quite funny as well. The only thing I find bad about it is that to give it more of an oldish kind of feel, it has these little cracks that go on, like you'd have on a record player, which is
Yes.
fine, but the cracks happen every single time he finishes a sentence, so that sort of gets a bit annoying. But aside from that, I'm happy with it. It's about an 8.4 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Dachau Blues is an excellent song. It's probably a 10 out of 10. It's just all about Dachau, which is a Holocaust place, concentration camp. And just so every single lyric's just masterpiece. Dachau Blues, those poor Jews still crying about the burnings back in World War Two's one mad man, 6 million lose down in Dachau Blues. Just loads of great. I think the best one is It's
What?
dying by the dozens. That definitely just excellent lyrics. Still, overall, his thoughts about World War Two and Hitler and all that, and just it's really weird. And you get this guy who plays this horn, and it's really demented. The first time I heard it, I remember an audio cassette of Wind in the Willows, and it really reminded us of a dark version of that. And later, you'll find this guy who only plays the horn and does nothing else aside from singing. The vocals are nothing but Pina. So that's the other contribution for that. Sense, perfect song. Ella Guru is the fourth song, and again,
which
I'll
I've
just
heard once or twice.
right, well, there's another 10 out of 10 song, and it was one of about four songs that I could think of actually succeeding in a sort of poppy version. And the reason because of this is simply because it has a sort of chorus. And it's just you'll probably find it's pretty good until you get these funny vocals once again. Who does Pina? Who says like a woman kind of voice, but it's just Ella Guru. She all the colours that nature do: high yellow, high red, high blue. She blue. It's just great, and you get in it like the famous quote. That's right, the masker snake, fast and bulbous, tight also and just so many great guitars, and the drumming is absolutely amazing in this, and it's just great. I suppose I could say the chorus just being Ella Guru, well, Ella Guru, it would have been better if it was something else, but never mind, it's still excellent. Moonlight on Vermont is the second song. Oh, actually, no, that's not the second song. What we'll have next is one of three instrumentals and on the opposite side of the Dust Blows Forward and the Dust Blows Back, if you're a fan solely of the instrumentation, then this is certainly something that you should look out for. What we'll have here is the first one, Hair Pie Bake One. In the first listen, it will sound absolutely horrendous. All you have is these two horns or whatever sort of instruments they are, brass or whatever, making these horrible noises that just honestly sound like they're making stuff on the spot, which I'm surprised probably they probably did. But about halfway into it, that you just slightly hear this little band playing that sounds really well made, well choreographed, and all that kind of thing. And it sort of sounds like these horns who are deliberately sounding bad are trying to fight over something that sounds good. That's what people sort of think about it. And eventually the good music takes over, and that's what you have for the rest of it good instrumentation. Just really good guitar play, and overall, I'd probably give it about 7.4 out of 10. Moonlight of Avant, back to it, is the second.
This is my favourite on the album.
Sorry,
This is
that's
my
your favorite.
favourite Beefheart song, full stop.
Yeah,
Of
well,
the about 10 or so songs you posted, maybe more, I've just found this one to be the best. Love the guitar, I don't mind his vocals as much, just I really enjoy this one.
well,
Might contribute
Moonlight.
to the album, actually, if anything.
Right, Moonlight of Vermont again, is still really good. It's got loads of different real catchy bits like "Come Out to Showed 'em." It's good enough for me if it's good enough for you, and just it's overall really enjoying. And in about the minute, it sort of turns into this little tiny wee little ballad, which I really like, and it's definitely a standout for his vocals as well. Great drumming, great guitars, great everything.
It is my favourite of it.
I give it again, and I probably about a 9 out of 10. Pachuco Cadaver was on my top 100 songs of all time, and honestly, I still think this. The only sort of drawback I could think is maybe the start with although a great bass playing, goes on a tiny bit too long. It's about 50 seconds it lasts, but then suddenly it kicks in with loads of just amazing lyrics. Some lyrics could be just too weird for you, like the sea dance skims along the floorboards, her two pipes humming carbon cum. That just might just be like too weird, which sort of is for me. And it's just sounding like a typical kind of beefheart stuff, guitars that are just playing in a manic kind of way. And then suddenly you start singing in a totally different style of a song. You're getting this extremely catchy guitar and drums. And while that's going on, he also says these really quite canny kind of lyrics. Her lovin' make me so happy. If I smiled, I'd crack my chin. Her eyes are so peaceful, think it's heaven she's been. Her skin is as smooth as a daisy's. Just really nice, kind of lyrics like that, and it just turns into
Hmm.
a nice kind of just love song in a way. And then this little catchy horn comes in, which although sound very weird, still kind of catchy. And then for about a minute and a half, you just get the really catchy guitars and drums playing. Just it shines out how great the band is, and yeah, I'll probably give it a 10 out of 10 once again. Bill's Corpse is a little ditty that I also extremely like, just because of the lyrics and just how silly it all is. You like these lyrics, don't you? I said, quietly the rain played down on the last of ashes, quietly the light played down on our eyelashes. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Is it scenic?
And just loads of really funny bits and silly bits, all on the children screaming, "Why, surely, madam, you must be dreaming. You couldn't have done this if you knew what you were doing." Just loads of silly bits like that, and then great lyrics at the very end. "Oh lady, look up in time. Oh lady, look out of love, and you shall have us all, or you shall have us fall." And then as soon as he stops saying that, he then sings an extremely beautiful song called "Sweet Sweet Bulbs." Just really from the first listen, once again, you should really pick up an excellent guitar riff that starts at the start,
Mhm.
and then suddenly you might not really like it because of his vocals that are a bit silly and just like sort of hit you with this kind of snarl into it that you weren't really expecting, which kind of clash with the really, nice sort of guitars. Um, Once again, talking about the lyrics, there's just so many excellent lyrics. A garden gate swings lightly without weight, open to most anyone that needs a little freedom, for God's sake, or come as many as you can. Just loads of really good bits, and there's this really fronted drumming that goes on that's just really mad. And again, a 10 out of 10 perfect song. Neon Me Dream of an Octofish is the next song, and it's not really one of my favorites. I think personally it's one of the worst ones. If you thought Carbon Come was a bit, revolting in a way, then you'll probably not like Neon Me Dream of an Octofish. It's just pretty disturbing overall. Mucus Mules, Syrup and Sermon and Semen. It's just really bad. And that
What?
kind of
Is
thing.
that actually the lyrics?
Yes. There's this annoying horn that goes on that sounds like a octofish sort of thing. It's like this more like so it sounds like it's getting tortured, which is pretty disturbing. There's really good drumming at the middle of it, but honestly, it's nothing that's really holds up to it overall. Well, interesting. I'll give it about a 6. China Pig, if you're a person who likes simple guitar and vocals and that's it, this is a thing for you. China Pig, I'm looking at the lyric booklet itself, and at the bottom of it, it says, owing to the condition of the player and the environment of the recording, certain portions are unaudible. Thus, we can only guess the real meaning. So no one actually knows what the meaning of China Pig is.
And they
What
never
happened in
will
terms?
because Beefheart sadly passed away.
Uh, well, China Pig, I suppose, is the actual China Pig, and he says, "I don't want to kill my China Pig," and it just talks about what he used to do with it when he was younger. I forgot it's got quite a famous guitarist who's playing with him. But honestly, it's that kind of Delta blues that I'm just not really fond of. But if you're a fan of just clever guitar work and simple lyrics, then you should like this one. I'd probably give it a 7.